If you have an overactive thyroid, here are 4 tips for hyperthyroidism. Okay, number 1 on my list is getting enough red light exposure. Now, unfortunately, in our modern world, we spend a lot of time indoors under artificial lights. We have a lot of screen time as well. And all of those artificial lights and that screen time is higher usually in the blue and is often lacking in the red light, which we naturally found in the most abundance from natural sunlight exposure. Of course, natural sunlight is the full spectrum of all the colors of the rainbow, but indoors we're getting more of that blue light and less of the red. And most windows as well, they block that red light and the infrared light coming into our environment. So at the very least, to get more red light, spend more time outdoors. If you can't do that, open a window and sit near an open window to get more of that natural light coming into your environment. And of course, there are red light therapy devices as well that can also be very beneficial. Okay, tip number 2 for an overactive thyroid, hyperthyroidism, is to build up your melanin. So melanin, of course, that pigment, when we get more natural sunlight exposure, that UVB, is going to help to quench free radicals. So it is a potent antioxidant and is a source of more energy for our systems. And this can really help and be helpful for healing that hyperthyroidism. Okay, tip number 3 is to make sure that you're getting enough DHA in your diet. Docosahexaenoic acid, this important omega-3 fatty acid, which you may have heard about before, really helps to protect our brain function. Of course, there's a lot of correlation between what's going on with our thyroid and our brain function. And that DHA is supplying extra electrons to our body, which is really important for our mitochondrial health, but also for the proper balancing and function of our thyroid gland. And tip number 4 is to get more cold exposure. So yes, when the temperature outside is naturally more cold, you may do well to really get more cold exposure, especially if your mitochondria are uncoupled. Now, this means that your mom came and derived from a region in like Northern Europe or northern latitude where the mitochondria adapted to become more uncoupled to be able to produce more body heat. So especially if your mom and your mom's mom came from a northern latitude, this is going to be really beneficial to allow for that cold exposure to really reset your systems and your clock mechanisms, because that is going to match your environment in those seasons when it's colder. And of course, getting cold feels good for someone with hyperthyroidism because often you're much too hot because your thyroid has become overactive. Now, I do have more information as to why cold exposure is so good for you. I want you to check out this video, 5 reasons why cold exposure is good for you. I'll see you there.